Hey, what's up? I'm Amin Dhillon, and welcome to my podcast. I'm sitting down with the movers and shakers and the stars to chat about life, love, business, and being a total boss. It's raw, it's candid, it's the stories behind the headlines. This is In Conversation. Jay Sean is on the podcast. Thanks so much for being on the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Surviving. So the number one question everyone has been asking me that they want me to ask you,
Right.
where are you right now?
Where am I?
Yes. Where are you in quarantine?
This is the basement of my house. So this is basically where I got my DJ equipment over here. You can't really see it, but this is where I sort of have my, this is like the DJ section. Then I got my studio around the corner. And then I've got the little TV cinema area over here. And then I've got the kiddies playroom over there. So we're spending a lot of time in the basement at the moment.
Okay. And so the family, we're all doing okay?
Everyone's doing great. Thank you.
You know, we'd see the artists. You guys would be off on the road, traveling, music shoots, right? You wouldn't be home 24/7. So now I love watching all these little like Instagram stories of artists like yourself that are at home with the kids all day. And I just wanted to ask you, what is your experience like being home all the time now, homeschooling, you know, just being with your family 24/7?
You know, the funny thing is with artists, when our schedules are we're flip-flopped to what the average regular job is, 9 to 5 Fridays, because for us, a lot of us work on the weekends. So I'll be flying, I'll have shows on Fridays, Saturdays. And so when I come back during the week, that is my weekend. That's my time with the family. So this isn't all that different to me. You know, the Monday to Friday staying at home with the kids is really not that different for me because we just don't have the same schedules. You know, it could be like I'll go to the studio, say Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'm like, I'm gonna take Thursday, Friday, Saturday off, and then I might go to studio Monday, and then not work until Thursday, Friday. So I'm so used to sort of just spending random days with my family.
What's a typical day for you now?
There is no typical day, of course. Every day now is. Every day it could be a Friday. Every day it could be a Monday. It's just, you know, it's super random. I think I just try to be as productive as I can with every day. I try to give myself some sort of routine, you know, because I think if you don't, that's when you drive yourself crazy. That's when you're like, what's going on? Like, but if every day you have a structured routine, you're getting up and you're putting on your clothes, you're not just sitting around, in the clothes you slept in, then I think you just kind of get with the program.
Mm-hmm. So what time are you waking up?
I wake up basically when the kids wake up. So I'm up about 7 o'clock and I love sort of having my schedule. I love doing what I do. I wake up in the morning and, you know, spend time with the kids, do a bit of homeschooling. Then I'll take a yoga class with my wife, Thara, because she's teaching online. Then I get on with my stuff. I've got recording to do at home. So I've got my home recording studio. So I'll do stuff there. And I'm doing my IG live series, my podcast called Basement Banter. So I'm doing those. Then I do my exercise, my weights and my boot camp class, and then before you know it, it's evening and it's dinner time with the kids and a bit of playtime, and then that's it. Boom.
I was actually going to ask you, one of the things I've noticed about guys is the grooming. And I was looking at you, I'm like, you don't look like you haven't seen a barber in a long time. So
why do you think I'm wearing a hat? This is crazy under here.
Oh, so the key is the hat, but it looks pretty good.
I normally have a fade. I've never had my hair this long on the side for years.
So this is bothering you? Because I think it looks fine.
I think it looks fine as well for now. It's not really bothering me. It's funny because now I'll just try out a new haircut. You know what I mean? Now I'll just try a new hairstyle because my hair's so long now.
Yeah. It's actually funny the amount of guys that have told me that they don't want to do a video interview right now because of the grooming situation. I've not been rejected by any women so far. It's only men, several men that have told me not right now.
You have to understand something. Your hair is your hair. It's usually long. It's not going to look different if you don't get a cut for 2 months.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas a guy, if we're used to getting short fades, it looks insane if you let that shit grow out.
Okay.
So, because I get a haircut once a week or twice a week sometimes.
Oh.
You're right. So therefore, for a lot of guys, they're just like, nah, I'm good. I've got all of my friends are literally wearing hats. It's hilarious.
So we're not at the point yet where you're going to let your wife cut your hair.
No, that's not happening.
You sure?
That's not
That could
happening
be
at
really
all.
interesting. Really great for Instagram stories.
No, I'm not that desperate for an Instagram story.
I think the secret is if you just sit still, she can't like actually like make you bald or anything.
No.
Don't worry about that.
And that's another thing. Girls never understand guys' haircuts. They're never like, I don't understand why it takes an hour to do your hair. There's nothing there. I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I wouldn't ask why it takes an hour to do your nails. I'd just be like, why? I can paint them in 5 seconds.
Well, I learned a lot
Right?
about grooming. I was watching your podcast with Juggy D, and I didn't realize how close you guys were. That he was shaving
Yeah,
your
of course, yeah.
back at one point in the early days. I was like, that is bromance. That is bromance.
Yeah. Serious bromance.
I mean, I don't even think I've ever had a girl like do my hair,
No.
let alone,
No.
trust them to like shave anything. So kudos. Thank you for educating women on how close you guys are about your hair and trusting other men. That's what I've been loving about the podcast and actually getting to see a different side of artists because you guys are opening up like never before. Let's talk about music though. So are you able to still work on music? Do you have something set up at home?
Yeah. I have my recording studio.
So you're actually actively recording right now?
Yeah, I just did a song today.
Oh, nice.
When I woke up in the morning, so I can record. My engineer is in LA, and we've figured out a way of him remotely recording me, so he can record me, take control of my laptop as if he's in the room with me.
Oh, nice.
It's crazy.
No, but because I know it's a process, right? Like a lot of times you guys want to be in the same room, you want to vibe off each other. So do you feel like it has kind of hindered it or no? No? So this could be the future then.
I'm so past that. I'm so past the times of like, yeah, man, go to the studio and hang out and talk shit for 3 hours before we do work. I'm like, listen, bro, I got kids at home now, all right? Let's get to work. I'm at studio 10 o'clock in the morning, get my shit done. I'm out by like 2, 3 in the afternoon, done.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So before the lockdown, though, I did hear you had recorded a bunch of new material. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can you give us an idea, like what kind of new material you've been working on? Kind of, are you changing styles?
It's more sort of singer-songwriter vibes, less production driven, less based on, oh, that's a sick beat. It's more based on the melody and the top line of the song, the substance of the song. When you're listening to Adele songs, you listen to Ed Sheeran, you listen to JP Sachs, you listen to these kind of guys, it's not about the production, it's all about their songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've decided this particular round of music was going to be more like that.
And are these going to be just a number of singles you're going to drop, or are you working on an actual album?
No, I'm not working on an album. I don't think an album is important in today's day and age at all. I think it's such an old concept. I think old school mentality is like, oh, let's spend the next 3 years seeing how I feel about this next album. Yeah, and that time your fans are gone, bro. They're like, nah, I'm not waiting 3 years. Hey, listen, I'm not knocking people who want to do that. Cool. Respect to you. I love that you want to do that. But for me, I'm just like, come on, man. Let's make some music. Let's drop some music. Let's give people some fun and give them some vibes, and that's it.
So are you like, because you've done a number of different styles, right? You do the romantic ballads, you do the dance jams, you do the influence with, a little bit of Indian music. So can you kind of give us an idea? Are you, again, just going to be sampling everything, or are you kind of going towards one genre?
No, when I make music, I I don't have anything particularly in mind that this is what I want to do, unless I'm doing my projects. Like when I did my Mistress stuff, that's a particular project. That has to be about certain stuff. The music has to sound a certain way. The subject matter has to mix and it has to flow. When I'm writing songs, otherwise, I go to the studio and I don't have a particular thing in my head, because let's say I'm really in the mood of making a ballad today. And then I get to the studio and it's just not working. But there's a really sick up-tempo track that the producer's done. What am I going to do? Am I just going to be like, no, I really want to write a ballad today? I'm going to hear the track and I'm like, okay, if this shit's moving me, let's go. But if it's not, then I'm not going to do it. So my whole thing is I don't force anything.
Okay.
If it has to be right, I would rather sort of go to the studio, not work on anything, come back and revisit the next day and see how I feel.
Okay. So let's actually revisit when I first heard of you. And I was actually talking with my friends because I was like, okay, like I just wanted to understand how everyone over here in Canada really first became introduced to you. So I remember it was Down basically when you came over with that single, and we were like, who is this guy? Like, this song is amazing. And it was really cool because it was everywhere. Like, I remember it was on all the commercial breaks. It was on the radio constantly. It was, I don't know who was doing your marketing, but it was everywhere. And it was really cool. And I remember my friends mentioning this to me, to be like, that's a brown guy.
The Indian community around the world, or let's say the South Asian diaspora around the world, they actually heard of me from Dance With You. So 16 years back is when I realized I had an international fan base, because a lot of there was a lot of South Asians, let's say in places where I wouldn't normally be able to tour unless I had a record company. So I was doing tours of America and of Canada 17 years ago.
Wow.
Before my music was even released here. Yeah, and that's because of the same thing. It's because of YouTube. It was because literally, hold on, let's think. YouTube wasn't out until 2005. Yeah. So yeah, after YouTube, 2005 is when I did my first tour in America and in Canada. And it was literally because all the brown people were like, what? Who are these guys? Juggy D and Jay Sean. They're brown, they're up on here, we want them over here. And it was literally only brown people. It was only brown people. It's the same way, you know what I laugh about is, so for example, your Ricky Martins of the world and your Shakiras of the world, your Enrique Iglesias of the world, even your J Balvins of the world, there's gonna be people who are like, J Balvin, I heard of you when you came out with that song, Mi Gente, it was huge. And he's gonna be like, yeah, I did like 4 albums before that, don't worry about it, right? But that's the point where he crossed over.
Yeah.
So Down for me was my real crossover record.
So that's why it was really cool to see like you come from England, come dominate North America. I wanted to ask you, was that like a goal of yours? Like when you were doing music over in England, were you like, I one day want to have the #1 song in America?
No, not at all. Because when we were in England, it wasn't even, it was like a far off dream to end up in America. We didn't even consider it, because a lot of the record companies in England, when they sign you in a record deal situation, they don't have America in the record contract. Back then they didn't at all, because they don't even, so few artists from England have ever come over and broken America. It was just too hard. And so basically England didn't even think about it. They was like, well, we got the rest of the world. And so I didn't even imagine that would be possible until Cash Money signed me. And that's when, because I had an American record deal by then, that's what allowed me to then do the groundwork in America. And it was a lot of work. You know, you think about it, there's 50 states, which is 50 small United Kingdoms. United Kingdom is tiny, it's smaller than some of the states in America. So the amount of groundwork you have to do to break a song is insane.
So, but do you ever ask yourself, why me? Like, why was I able to crack and hit #1? Because a lot of people before you have tried, people after you tried. So do you ever ask yourself, what was it that everything just fell into place and I was able to do it?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with timing and then of course luck, right? And when I say luck, I don't mean luck like he just got lucky. Luck for me is preparation. You know, it's like when you're prepared for this shit. Had I not done the 5 years before I came over to America, I wouldn't have been ready to go and jump on arenas with, you know, to support Enrique Iglesias. I wouldn't be up on, you know, tours with Katy Perry and Bruno Mars. I wouldn't have had enough experience. I wouldn't know how to handle a crowd like that. But because I had all of that experience behind me, I felt like my timing was actually perfect. So when you put me up in you put me on the you know, Wendy Williams show, I'm gonna know how to speak, because guess what? I had 6 years of media experience. So for me, I feel like the timing was perfect. And also the song resonated with people at a time where there weren't many male voices on radio at the time, right? So the only male voices at that time really was me, Justin Bieber,
Justin Timberlake.
Chris Brown was off the scene. Usher was off the scene. Justin Timberlake was off the scene. So there was room for a new male voice on radio.
It was like everything just aligned for you.
That's what I mean. And I really believe it was a beautiful moment in my life, which was just meant to be. The song, up-tempo, people wanted to feel happy at the time. A lot of the music before that was kind of melancholic. So it was something magical. It was the right time with the right song. And, I'll always be grateful for that.
Of course, because honestly, I was just thinking back. I'm like, your life must have been insane to have the number one
Mm-hmm.
song. Everyone's like, who is this guy? Because what was it? You knocked out Black Eyed Peas for the number one spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, no one else could do that. Beyonce wasn't doing that, and you did. And I was like, my gosh, like you must have life must have been. I can't even
It was mad.
imagine.
Yeah, it was mad. But the thing is, you don't really have the time to soak it all in because you're so busy and you're hopping around from state to state and doing shows like back to back, interviews back to back. So you don't have time to stop and think and go, what is happening? This is mad. What is happening? How do I have the biggest song in the world right now?
Do you think that was actually good that you weren't able to focus on that? Do you think that maybe like freaked you out, or you would have been like, oh my god, like talk about pressure now?
No, I don't think it would have freaked me out. I actually wish I had the time to let it sink in more.
Yeah.
Because I think that right now, I wasn't the person that I was back then. I'm a lot more grown now, a lot more self-aware now. And I think back then, if you don't stop and take in a moment, it's gone forever. And we didn't live in those days. Instagram didn't exist. None of this stuff was documented. We weren't vlogging, we weren't blogging, we weren't taking pictures. We were just doing it. And then sometimes, because it happened so fast, we didn't stop and take it in and go, okay, this is it, I'm here. Geez, whoa, what is happening? This is amazing. And because you're just rushing, they're pulling you, and like, come on, gotta go. And you're like, all right. And then only afterwards do you go, whoa, that was mad. So I kind of wish I documented a bit more, maybe.
So all you have is the memories.
But you know what? That's nice, right? Because at least the memories were real. At least the one flip side to this is you were actually in the moment, right? You were. Even if it was brief, and even if you didn't have a physical documentation of that moment, you were in it. You weren't retaking the shot. You weren't recreating the moment. You were in the moment.
I'm picturing you as an old man in a nursing home, just telling all your great grandkids like stories. I hope your memory stays, because they're gonna be like, "Why does this story keep changing?"
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful, and that's something, like I said, that nobody can ever take away from me.
Yeah.
There's just incredible stories, so many stories that people wouldn't even believe.
And we want to hear them. We want to hear them.
Well, I can't tell you all of them because they are being put into something very big. So I can't really sort of give away too much information.
Okay.
But because I have these stories, the world needs to hear them.
Absolutely. Because I was picturing, I'm like, if I was the female Jay Sean and had the number one single and everyone was like, who is this person that, knocked over Black Eyed Peas? I feel like everyone would be like trying to be my friend. Like, I feel like Beyonce would be like, do you want to come over and like hang out with me and Jay-Z? Like, is that what life was like for you?
Yeah. I mean, you were rubbing shoulders with the biggest, singers and celebrities in the whole world.
So Beyonce did call you.
Beyonce didn't call me, but I remember having a conversation with Jay-Z and Beyonce at the House of Blues in LA at the Grammys. So it's Grammy weekend and we're just casually having drinks together at the House of Blues.
Casually, why not?
In the same room, you got Rihanna, and I'm like, hey, Ree, you know what? Let's get a drink later on. You know what I mean? Let's catch up. It was one of those weird ones. It was lovely, but again, it's what does it mean? You know what I mean? What does it really mean? It's something nice. It was a beautiful experience, but what means more to me is the fact that I was me in that moment, and not a caricature of me, not somebody who I felt like I had to play up to. Because again, the reason I'm saying this is social media, right? Nobody was taking pictures with each other. We were just really having conversations, and it was real. It was real moments. It wasn't people going, oh guys, do that. And then you laugh, okay? And then you go, haha. And it was none of that. It was just a real moment. And that is what means something more to me than like being able to show pictures of it.
But in that moment, weren't you like, I'm just wondering, did you ever feel that pressure to be like, I know a bunch of British Asian artists back home that, you know, you've worked with or, you know, you knew that would kill to be in this room right now. Like, did that kind of like, you know, make a difference to you to be like, I know like not many people would get this opportunity, so I got to make the most out of it?
No, no, because I never place pressure on myself. I still don't to
Oh,
this
yeah.
day. I never do that because that's not my personality. That's not how I'm built. You know, I don't perform well like that. Um, some people need that. They need to know who's, you know, for example, if they're doing a show, a TV show, how many people are watching, who's in the audience, is blah, blah, blah. Okay, am I going to get a chance to do this again? Man, give me the microphone. This is mine, actually. Give me the mic. Give me the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's sing this song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to overthink anything because then I just don't feel like I'm being me. I'm just not free. I'm not flowing. The same way that before this interview you said, is there anything you want to know? Do you want to debrief me before? I was like, just let's go, man. Let's go. That's where the free flow conversation happens. If you're telling me stuff, I'm creating and crafting answers. It's not real. It's not genuine. You don't get to know me. No one gets to actually know the truth. So for me, I just feel like if I'm in that room, hey man, I'm having fun. I'm working it. I'm in the moment. I'm enjoying myself. I'm loving it. I'm not stopping to think, I must make a good impression on. Nah,
No, I get it.
because I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm always grateful for it. That's the one thing. I'm very grateful for the opportunity every time I'm in it. So even when I was doing all this stuff, I would go home and I'd talk to my mom and dad and I'll be like, you know, isn't this amazing? Aren't we so lucky to be able to do all this? Then my mom and dad are so lovely. They're so down to earth that I'm very proud of you, son. You just enjoy it. Make sure you enjoy yourself. You know, and that was lovely. And that, I would rather live like that than to put pressure on myself. What's that going to do? It's not going to help me perform better.
Yeah.
Not me.
Well, I was just like to make sure that whoever I'm interviewing, especially for the first time, always feels comfortable, right? Because I know in this business, you guys don't get into it to do interviews, right? Like a lot of you don't even like to talk about yourselves. You're just about the music. So I know how many hats you have to wear, right? Like it's weird.
So many people you know, had to go through media training and do this, that, and the other, and they answer, you have to answer like this, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. My attitude now is, you can't avoid this shit anymore. You know what I mean? If you're doing these IG lives, but you don't have a time to take it back. It's live. You've said what you've said, people heard it. So you're gonna get exposed at some point. So you might as well just be yourself. And if people write that you're a prick, then you're a prick. Or they think you're a prick. And if they say, hey, he's a nice guy, then maybe you're a nice guy. You know, but at the end of the day, at least it's all out there. And I just feel like that's my take on it. I don't feel like we can hide that shit anymore.
So what image do you want though? Like you just said, like if someone says you're a prick, does that bother you? Like if someone trolls you and goes like, oh, he didn't even like pay attention to me or he didn't respond to my comment. Are you like, oh man, if only you knew, I really am a nice guy.
No, I don't think about anything like that because I learned very early on in my life, in my career, that, you know, people's perception of you is just that. It's their perception of you. It's not, I shouldn't then go, I guess that is me because that's what you think. And I've never let another person's opinion affect the way that I feel about myself because I feel like maybe I'm self-aware enough or I know myself well enough to understand that perhaps there's some shit going on with you, that something I said has been interpreted like this to you, you know? And I hope you can work through your issues because I certainly didn't mean that, right? I'm not going to then let it burden me and go, why did he think that? Maybe so many people misinterpret so many things on a daily basis. That's our human flaws, right? And imagine if we just kept on, if we were that empathic that we let everybody's opinion and we'd be a mess.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I just try and hope that people can understand that in this day and age there are a lot of pressures on everyone, right? And the one thing about celebrities that a lot of people, I think, mistakenly feel is that we're perfect and that we have to have a perfect day all the time, or just because we've made a success out of our lives, then we should be happy every day. And, you know, why should we get stressed out? You know, surely they don't have, you know, problems. And that's kind of crazy for people to think that, because, well, why am I famous? I'm famous because I had some songs on the radio and because I'm on TV. That's it. Other than that, I'm just a normal person.
Absolutely.
And that's it. And that's the thing, right? And I think that's where celebs, I think, kind of get some shit, right, from people.
Mm-hmm.
Is because they'll meet them, they'll say something crazy, and then the celebrity will be like, that's not very nice of you. And all of a sudden, the celebrity's the asshole.
Yeah. How do you manage that balance though? Because you've been in the public eye for so many years. We've seen you grow. And now,
Right.
you know, we see like a lot of your family, you show your kids on Instagram, and that decision to be so open with your fans. Like, are you just like, hey, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to post it? Or do you and your wife kind of have a strategy to say, like, how much are we going to share?
I'm a bit more private about my wife, because the reason why about that is people are very unlikely to say something nasty or rude or offensive about children.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people, you'd have to be a real asshole to say something mean about someone's kids.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I don't need to get angered or irritated if somebody writes something inappropriate, because they're not writing inappropriate stuff about my children. But sometimes when it comes to my wife, if a guy is going to be if he's trying to go there, I've got to hold it back, because the man in me wants to be like, okay, fool, you want to go, you want to meet me outside my house and say that same shit, right? And I don't like to feel like that. I don't like to feel like that. So therefore, I would rather not give you that opportunity to say shit about my wife, you know? And so therefore, when I do stuff with my wife, it's usually very wholesome stuff. You know, we'll be doing stuff together. But yeah, I've always felt like a bit funny like that. Sometimes, you know, girls can be nasty and they can say weird things, and guys can be rude. And I'm like, I'd rather not give you the option. You know what I mean? But now that's changed. Even that's changing. I post about my wife a lot more. I didn't used to, but now I'm just like, hey man, just say what you want. I'm not going to let it bother me. You're the idiot for saying that. I can just delete your comment, right?
That's good. That's a healthy attitude, not to let it bother you, because people are going to write whatever they're going to write, right? But I just always have sympathy for people in the public eye like yourself, because you obviously get to do what you love, singing, right? You have an amazing job, but then this is the only industry that has that downside of people want not just to see you professionally, they want to know everything about you. Like, what are you eating? Like, what are you sleeping in? Like, you know, are you single? Are you not? Like, it's really intrusive. And then so I was like, I don't know. Like, you've been in this business for so long that, like, is that a struggle?
I think it used to be in the beginning, you know, because I came from a generation where it was always about the music, and people loved you for your music, right? They wanted to meet when they met you. They wanted an autograph. They wanted to physically hold the CD. They wanted to have that experience. And now that is not important to them, and as much, it's not as important to them as it used to be. Now, what's more important to them, you know, are other things, right? Like a picture means more than an autograph, of course, nowadays, of course, right? And I guess if I took 100 pictures of myself behind the microphone and like, hey guys, recording another song, people would be like, cool, bro, good luck. They don't care. But if I post a picture of me, I don't know, just doing anything, playing with my kids, watching TV, in my pajamas, they're gonna be like, oh my God, he wears pajamas too. And it's like, okay, if that makes you happy, bro. But I don't post unnecessarily. I'll just post when I feel like posting.
I love your
I
fan
post
voice,
whenever
by
I
the
feel
way.
like.
I love that when you do the impression of what we sound like when we're commenting. He wears pajamas? Yes, he does. Lots of
Yeah,
info.
so it's a funny old world.
It is. And that's why it's kind of cool with the quarantine. I feel like a lot of people now are turning to social media because that's their way to stay in touch. So we're getting to see like your podcast. I'm seeing people joining these live concerts on Instagram too that you would never see. So it is like there's some blessing in all of this too, that people are finding a new way to reach out.
Yeah, I've actually really enjoyed it. I've fully enjoyed having to think outside the box. I've really enjoyed not just being a regular singer and doing my songs and going and doing concerts. There's something different now. How do we make this work? What do I do? How do I stay how do I stay active in my house? How do I not go crazy? How do I stay creative? How can I reach out to my fans? How can I have fun? How can I, do all of that stuff? And I've enjoyed that process.
You let me know if you want to do a podcast show together. We can do a gossip show together. I feel like you can dish it.
You know what's
You
so
can dish
funny?
it.
That would be the last thing I do though, gossip.
I'll
That's
talk
the
you into
one
it.
area, and I know you're joking, but that's the one thing that always makes me laugh. Why do people want to know what so and so's doing? What I never understand why anyone cares what's going on in so and so's life. How does that affect you? I don't get it. I honestly, I've tried to understand. I'm like, why are you talking about another person's problem? Now it's become your problem. It wasn't even your problem. Now you're getting annoyed by what's going on in someone else's life. You were fine before you started talking about this. It's just funny to me.
You know who you remind me
find it
of?
hilarious.
Piers Morgan is always talking crap about Meghan Markle. And I'm always like, why are you always in the headlines throwing her under the bus? Like, you aren't even friends. You don't even know her. And so that's what you're reminding me of. Like, he's so bothered by everything that she does. I'm like, does it affect you?
I don't get it. Hey, man, unless she's your actual friend, unless you guys talk to each other on the phone, you go out for dinner and you do this shit, and then she did something or that, cool. I get it. If you don't know them, why are you talking about them? I don't get it.
So we're never going to see you on a chat show. That's not going to be another like opportunity for you. If Oprah calls you and offers you your own show.
No, listen, that's a totally different thing. If I had a talk show, that is just like what I'm doing right now with my podcast. I would be fantastic at that because I love people. I love getting to know people. I love talking about them. I'm interested in what their lives are like, but I'm not a gossip.
Mhm.
You know, like the TMZ thing? You're never going to see
You're
me
in the
on
bushes with your paparazzi camera trying to get a shot.
that. Oh my God, can you believe that Drake went to so-and-so with so... I don't care, man!
But it would be entertaining to see your take, especially if you did the impressions. I love that. Let's talk about this year. So this beginning of the year, 2020, I'm sure you had big goals for yourself. So can you kind of give us an idea? What was 2020 supposed to look like for you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know at the moment. I know the vision was to put out a bunch of music that we wanted to record at the beginning of the year. Luckily, we did that before the quarantine. I recorded a shitload of songs in February. The only problem with the releasing songs now is, we don't know how much longer this is going to go on until we can perform. And you lose the momentum. I could put out something right now that everyone loves, and nobody gets to see me hear it until sing it live until next year. You kind of lose that buzz. It's not as exciting for people, right? Because people right now, they want the latest thing. Like the funny thing is I did this song called Surma Surma with Guru Randhawa, a massive artist in India. And it blew up and it was a huge, massive song, over 100 million views already. I'm not going to get to perform it live until next year. Do you think, right, by then they're expecting another different song, a new hit?
I find that today, because of social media, everyone, like, you release a song and it becomes, let's say, millions of hits, within 24 hours. And then people will talk about it for maybe a week. And then after that, you're old news again.
I know, it's insane. It's funny. I make jokes out of it to my fans, because like they'll write stuff like, oh my God, I loved so-and-so. And that came out last week. And I'm like, they're like, so what's next? I'm like, 1 week ago, I gave you a brand new song. They're like, no, I know. I love that one. I loved. They keep saying, no, they don't even still love it. They loved it for that week. But again, I don't find it offensive. I laugh at it because this is the generation we're in. This is who we've become, right?
Yeah, but as an artist, it's like the amount of work that goes in. Like, I remember waiting outside of like HMV for like the new album to drop, and it would have taken a whole year. The artist would have been just like locked away in a studio putting out like whatever amount of songs. And now it's like they act like, well, I don't want to generalize everybody, but I feel like that kind of assumption is, oh, cool, you have that song. Cool. Now you better have another song ready, right, to release. So how do you do that?
It is hard. It's very hard. I do wish that we weren't so much like that, you know. I think when you're not in the creative industry, you don't understand how much work goes behind it.
But do you find that you're having to like find that pressure to cut corners, like maybe just like push something through that you haven't really felt like it was ready?
No, I'm not gonna do that. My my biggest hang up is I don't want to be forced to put stuff out that I don't want to put out because it's my name to it, right? And then I'll put something out and people are like, why is he putting out such trash music? I'm like, because you want 3 songs a week and they're not all going to be good. So I would rather go, hey guys, I love you, but listen to this one for maybe one or 2 more months. Let me give you something else off it, right? I would rather do that than just put out garbage. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that.
Can I tell you something funny? So when I was like talking about you to my friends and going like, hey, like, remember Jay Sean? Like, what kind of questions do you guys want about him? People were like, oh, you know what? Like, what happened to him? Like, you know, you would take breaks. Like, now you've got the new music. But I remember like people were like, oh, for a while there, he wasn't like releasing anything. Like, and it's funny in this world, it's like if you don't release anything, it's like you're dead.
Oh my God. People are so funny. It's like if you type in what happened to, you're going to see people like, it would be the most ridiculous shit. I mean, like artists who, like Lil Nas X, for example, who had the biggest song of last year. People might be like, what happened to Lil Nas X? What do you mean, bro? What do you mean? Do you think he died because he didn't put another song out within 3 months?
Yeah. It is
What
really
is
funny
wrong
though.
with us? It's so funny. Yeah. So I actually find it hilarious when people go, what happened to Jay Sean? I go, I'm currently parked in an ice cream van in Times Square. That's what I do right now. The fuck, bro?
But it's funny. It's true though. People are like, is he okay? Did something happen to him?
Oh my God, I haven't heard him on the radio. Is he dead?
Oh, I love it. But it's nice that they care so much.
It is. And I'm obviously having a laugh about it. But it's like we all say funny things. We say crazy shit because we haven't heard of someone every five minutes.
Yeah. But it makes it hard to take a break then. Like if you actually were just like, oh man, I'm not feeling it right now. I just want to take a break. It's almost like you're scared to because you're like, are they going to think I'm dead again? I came back to life, but I'm apparently going to die again.
I honestly, it's come to the point where I don't care. It's so funny to me. The whole thing is humorous. I don't take anything personally. If somebody can say it to my face, hey man, you're shorter than I thought you would be. And I'll be like, cool, bro, thanks. What do you want me to get upset about? I don't care. All right, I'm sorry I'm shorter than you thought I would be. Like, what's up?
I feel like this is like a common thing people are saying to you now.
No, I'm giving that as an example, right?
You're like, someone said it again to me today.
People say funny things. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's because they feel like they're friends with you. They know you, so they can like say stuff.
Yeah. So I don't take anything offensively. I don't.
All that stuff comes from a place of love, I like to think.
I think it comes from a place of awkwardness. I think when people come up and they see you and they don't expect you there, or they don't know what to say, they'll usually say something crazy.
Jay Sean, you eat at restaurants too?
Right. It's just, what are you doing? You know, you're awkward, right? You're like, what are you doing here? Same thing as you, man.
Okay, so I gotta ask you, what's like the craziest thing a fan has ever done to meet you? You've got to have some good stories.
I can't talk about it because it's actually it's actually like really crazy.
We don't censor you on these podcasts, by the way. So,
You don't
censor you, so feel free.
No. That's why I'm saying I can't talk about it. It's too crazy. They might be watching right now, so it's just there's some crazy ones out there.
Okay, I'm gonna get a bunch of shit from your fans now to be like, you were so close to getting him to like reveal some really exclusive content, and you like didn't get him to. So you got to give me like one story.
You do understand as much as I'm enjoying this, you have to understand something. You're never gonna get something out of me that people haven't heard.
Damn it.
You know why?
Because I thought we were connecting. You know, you're like, You're in Canada. I love Canada. I'm gonna have a soft spot for Canadian girls. Maybe,
yeah. If you ask me some stuff about Canada, maybe you'd hear some stuff. But the reason why is because every interviewer does an interview hoping to get something that other people don't know, which is natural. I find the same thing now, being on the flip side, right? So when I'm now hosting my podcasts, I don't want that person to go, here we go again.
Exactly. So you
I
get
don't
it.
want. Yeah.
People want to hear this interview and be like, oh, I didn't know that about him.
Yes, I love that. I love that's what you wanted to do, right? But then, like, the funniest thing is a lot of interviews would be like, so tell us 3 things that your fans don't know. I go, I did this last week, bro. I did literally 3 things last week. Now they know those 3 things.
Come
Now
with
I
3
don't
new
know any more
ones.
things. Now I have to think of new ones. And then I've done this for 16 years. So now I'm like, I think they know everything.
Okay. I'm trying to do a nice mix of questions that you probably had and questions you haven't had. Let's get back to the music. So I was just Guru Randhawa. I love him, and I feel like he does such a great job of collaborating with so many different artists, and I love the collaboration with you. So can you tell us a story? Like, how did that collaboration happen?
Yeah. Let me see if I can give you one that people wouldn't have heard. Guru, the first time I met him in person was at the BBC Asian Network concert that they had in O2 Arena. And was it the O2? I think it was, whatever. It was an arena, Birmingham Arena. And so I was performing there and he was performing there and we met each other backstage. And he was so nice. He was so nice, such a nice, respectful guy. And I remember, because that's something that I hold, that's like a value I hold really high, is humility and politeness and kindness. And he was all of those. And I said, I like this guy. And we exchanged information and we just became friends. For about a year, we just like talking back and forth. And he really helped me improve my Punjabi, because my Punjabi was really shit until I spoke to him. Because me and him can only speak to each other in Punjabi. That's it. Like, he will mainly speak Punjabi. He knows how to speak English. But because he knows I speak Punjabi, he'll speak Punjabi. And I'm like, fuck, last time I did this was when my grandparents were here. And I speak Punjabi pretty much fluently. The problem is it's rusty, because I haven't spoken Punjabi since my grandparents passed away. Because I only used to speak it with them. I don't speak Punjabi with my parents. I speak English with my parents. So it was rusty. So we were having a laugh about that. And then, and then we just got to talking and I was like, yo, let's do a song. You know, the fans would really love it.
Yeah, and they clearly do.
Yeah, and then we did. And he sent me a song on my birthday without knowing it was my birthday. And I listened to the song, I loved it, and I said, hey man, thank you so much. And then he called me back and he was like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was your birthday, happy birthday. And I was like, bro, this is a big sign, you know? You just gave me a big gift on my birthday. It's a beautiful song, let's go. And that was it. Did my thing, sent it back to him. Next thing you know, I'm in India shooting the video.
Is there anyone else, any other collaborations that are coming out we should keep an eye out for?
Yes, there are, but I'm not going to talk about them. You're just going to hear them.
Okay, but we don't have an idea of release then? Like, I just want to make sure fans don't miss out.
There's no idea of release dates. That's the one thing we're all kind of screwed on right now, is release dates. Like, the music industry just like, nobody knows, right? People have had to put their albums on hold because they're like, well, I can't promote it. Can't go out on the road, right? So that's been really sort of weird thing about all of this.
Jay, are you worried though?
Worried about
how the music industry is going to be affected?
Not really. Yeah. I think the streaming is at an all-time high, right? I mean, my song, Ride It, the remix just went to 1 billion streams, which is insane. So streaming is through the roof. And the only part which is difficult is the live, right? The touring aspect. So artists, some people have put their world tours on hold. You're talking millions of dollars that they're just not going to get, or maybe they'll get them later, but who knows?
Is that a big chunk of your revenue? The live shows?
Live, I think live is a big chunk of a lot of artists' revenue.
Oh, so it's going to be quite the financial hit then, yeah.
Because not every artist writes their own songs, right? I happen to write my own songs. So luckily I'll get publishing of my records, and a lot of artists, do huge world tours and sell out arenas and stadiums. That's an insane amount of money.
Yeah, you tour quite a bit because I know you're DJ, so he would always be posting behind the scenes, and it just seems like so much fun.
I'm so sorry that you know Bix.
He's in Toronto, so we all know each other. Great guy.
He's a lovely guy. I love it.
But you guys always seem to have like just a ball. That's why I was like, tour life. Like, I know it's grueling, but I feel like it's kind of like the fun part.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's beautiful, especially with Bix, it's so much fun.
And the amazing places you get to go to. Like, you've probably visited any place you've ever dreamt of going to, right? Or is there a place still that you're wanting to visit?
There's still loads of countries I haven't been to. I haven't been to Egypt. I really want to go there, but I want to go there with the kids. I want them to see the history there. And I haven't toured enough of South America yet, so I want to do a bit more of that.
Okay. Well, hopefully maybe in 2021.
I know.
It seems so far away.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed about you is you've been also married for over like 10 years. Is it over 10 years or about 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years or so. And what's really cool is your wife helps manage you. So I was like, okay, so do you think that's the key to success, to have someone on your team that not only is invested in you financially, but is actually invested in all aspects of your life, as opposed to just having a manager that really is just looking at you in terms of kind of dollar signs?
I don't know if there's any one particular key. I think there's many different things. You need a team. I think the team is really important. You need an incredible team who care about you and are not just, and if things don't necessarily go right, they're going to have to think, okay, what else can we do? What else can we do here? Not just like, that one's not working. That cash cow's gone. Let's go to this one, right? Because you got to have a team who cares. And who else is going to care more than my own wife, right? I'm always very grateful for Tara's, the fact that she, some people, it would drive them crazy having their wife all up in their business as well. And I'm like, no, I love that my wife is all up in my business. It's like, go, Tara, go sort them out. Because they're gonna know this. She's boss lady, and I love that.
I love that too. And isn't that the key to a successful relationship? You want to be with somebody who, like, you don't want to leave and be like, okay, I'm gonna go for a couple months, see you later. You want someone that you're like, hey, if it's business, if it's something else, I want you beside me. I value your opinion. I value your company.
Absolutely. And that's what's really, I think I'm very lucky like that. She understands the game and she understands me. She understands, how it all works. And I think she's been in it as well,
Yeah. That's why I was like, that's really great that you two found each other and you both are in the music business, because who's going to understand you better than her? Let me ask you, the kids, do they understand what you do? Do they go my dad's a superstar, or what do they think of your career?
They do know. Yeah, they know and they understand. Ava gets it fully. She now does think it's kind of cool. In the beginning, I think she was kind of like, this is weird. Why do people like my dad? Why do people want pictures with my dad? And now it's really sweet. I'll hear her singing my songs around the house. And I'm like, oh, so you like dad's music now, huh? And she's like, no, maybe just that one. That's a good one. They're not all that good. It's really cute. We have the most amazing relationship, me and Ava.
Yeah.
So, the fact that she now thinks her nerdy dad is kind of, is kind of cool. It's cute. It's just cute.
Yeah. Do you think she'll follow in your footsteps? Any potential there?
I don't know. She's extremely musically talented, especially as a songwriter, because she can predict where melodies are going to go. She'll hear a song once, and before it's even got to the chorus, she'll know where the notes are going to go or where they should go for the chorus.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, you're already songwriting without knowing it. She understands melody. She understands progression of a melody. It's really interesting. And she remembers melodies and stuff so quickly.
You must bring her to the studio. She's probably absorbing everything that she's seen when she's on tour or in the studio with you.
Yeah, she's been to the studio. She's seen me work, but like a kid, they're just going to be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm bored. Let's go off somewhere else.
Imagine she becomes a doctor.
I think I would be, honestly, with her, as long as both of the kids, as long as they love what they're doing. It's so important, because what we do, unfortunately, some parents, is they try to push their kids into what they think the kids should be doing. And that's only because you love them. You want them to have a stable job. You want them to have a stable profession. But you don't have to live the rest of their life. They do. And then guess who they're going to blame if they don't love their job, and if they don't love their wife, if they don't love their husband? Who are they going to blame? You.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they turn out and what they do. I hope one of them follows in your footsteps. Keep that musical gene going, right? Why not? You guys could tour as a family.
Oh, that would be cute.
Yeah, foreign. Yeah, you see my whip, you know it's foreign. I'm so foreign. Then you see my girl, you know she foreign. I'm in Lauren. You been wearing Tommy, got that foreign. You so boring. I've been up and working, that is foreign. I'm so foreign. Yeah, you know my whip, you know it's foreign. I'm so foreign. Then you see my girl, you know she foreign. I'm in Lauren. foreign.